Okay, so welcome to the Haileybury Apiary. We're going to look inside one of our hives today that's been neglected for quite a while due to the lockdown. So I'm not 100% sure what we're going to find in there, but one thing I do know is that it won't be nicely organised like the hive that you've seen in my back garden in the previous videos. We'll make our way into the apiary itself. I'll open up the hive and talk you through what we're going to see in there when we get moving away. Let's go. I've got my smoker today.
Seems to be
looking like it's producing what we need.
it smells very good, Mr. Mitchell. It smells very good. We didn't quite. Hopefully, we won't have the problems that we had last time with the smoker.
No, I think we'll be okay. We've got some smoke. So let's go. I'm going to take the roof off.
Crikey! Look at that. Is that normal? All that honeycomb coming out the top?
The bees will build comb wherever you give them space to. There's a thing in a beehive called bee space. It's about 6 to 8 millimeters. If you give a bee a bigger space than 8 millimeters, it builds comb in it. If you make it smaller than about 6 millimeters, it fills it up with propolis and glues everything together. So wherever you give them a bit of space, you can see they'll take advantage of that and build comb.
And that's not edible, obviously, is it?
You can eat the wax. The wax is edible. So some people like cut comb and they're quite happy to eat the wax with the honey. My preference is if I'm gonna eat comb, then I just chew the comb and extract the honey from the wax in my mouth. And then I take the wax out and throw it away.
Does it have any other uses?
Candles?
Yeah, of course, wax candles.
Church
honey
candles.
wax.
The most prized wax that you're looking for is the pure white capping wax that they put over the honey when they've evaporated it down to the right level of moisture.
It's a very beautiful colour, isn't it? Maybe
it is. Yeah, you'll see
the sun shining on it. It's making it particularly.
New comb is much nicer than old comb. And you'll see when we get inside the hive here that we'll see some old comb, which is dull brown colour, where it's been reused and recycled. So let's just give it a bit of smoke. Quite a nice amount of noise.
Yeah.
So we've got plenty of bees in here. So let's see what we've got.
We've got plenty of bees out here, to be honest.
Okay, so that's one honey super off, and in here we're looking at another honey super. So this is what we're talking about. This really nice white wax. This is a sort of prize wax, and under here,
oof, look at that.
That's
the good stuff, isn't it?
That's what we're looking for. That's the really nice honey that we're looking for, and we're really fortunate on this site because. Whatever, that honey, the final finished product, the honey, is just a reflection of what the bees are foraging on in this local area. And honey can range from incredibly light, clear liquid to almost very dark, syrupy liquid. So we do have a nice site here where the hives are for producing really nice honey.
And what are they predominantly feeding on?
It's seasonal based, really, so they get as much from trees and grass, etc., as they do from pretty flowers. You always see these bee friendly logos on the plants in the garden centre.
Yeah.
The bees are just as happy to get pollen, nectar from trees and grasses. Some things are not particularly desirable. You don't really want, so in the fields across the road here, if that was full of oilseed rape,
yeah,
you'd end up with a hive full of honey that eventually, after a little while, sets almost like concrete.
Okay.
It's almost inedible for the bees as well as it's not. People don't particularly like rapeseed honey.
People often talk about heather, don't they?
Honey?
Is heather honey, is that particularly good or not?
That's and it's very difficult to say this is all from heather unless you take your hives and move them out into a sort of grouse moor in the middle of Scotland. What you'll see in this local area, you might have seen them more often recently, crops in the field with lots of nice bright blue flowers on it. So you've got borage and you've got lovage. And if you wanted to produce borage honey at the right time, you'd just close your hive up, lift it, take it across, put it in the middle or around the edge of a field of borage. And of course, as the bees come straight out the front, straight onto the borage, foraging straight in, and you could, you would get a very, very borage biased honey by placing your
borage biased honey. Now there's a thing.
In that situation. So I'm gonna. There's definitely some honey in here, so that's a good sign. I'm going to take this honey super off. And I'm going to have a look inside here.
Are you harvesting at the moment?
I think that if you remember, the best honey that we got from the hives since we've been running the beekeeping at school was the honey that I took off just a week or two prior to the summer holiday last year. Absolutely beautiful,
clear, wasn't it?
Very light coloured, clear, very runny. If you like runny honey, I do.
Yep.
So probably in the next month or so, we should be looking, with the really good weather we've had, the bees have had a really good opportunity.
They've had a good time of it.
They have, yeah. So they're going to get a bit of smoke.
No social distancing for these bees. Certainly not from me, anyway.
These bees are, this hive's only been, this is about the second time this hive's been opened in about 6 or 7 months.
Gosh.
That's not a very good sign.
What's that?
A
moth.
wax moth. That's something we don't really want to see in the beehive. A wax moth. They will lay their eggs in here, and then the grubs feed on the wax and the honey inside. So that's
not good. That's not great news.
We don't really want to see wax moths in there.
Okay. What do we want to see in here?
What would be nice to see in here is lots of bees, which I think you can hear by the sound that we're going to see lots of bees.
Yep.
We want to see lots of new eggs, larvae, capped brood. The signs that tell me as a beekeeper that the colony is rapidly expanding. The bigger the colony, the earlier the colony gets expanding in this really nice weather. Then that's going to increase the quantity of honey that we might extract from this hive. So I'm going to start taking, this is the queen excluder.
Yep. Is there any danger that the queen might now decide to fly off?
The queen, the only time the queen is really tempted to fly is during swarming. So if they're going to swarm, or as soon as you hatch a new queen. So when a virgin queen hatches, she has to go on a mating flight, which is done, up in the atmosphere. So so it's pretty. We're
not going to lose her today.
No, she's not going to fly off if we see her.
Right,
you have to be careful when you put things down on the ground, because I did sort of check to see what was on the
make sure she wasn't there.
And I have in the past had, as I've closed the hive up, I've seen a little ball of bees on the floor, which grabbed my attention.
And she was in it, was she?
And the queen was on the floor.
Well, that was a lucky escape.
And I picked her up, held her at the front, and she just crawled in and went back into the hive.
Okay, very good.
I think she knows her job, and she's kind of dedicated to that, and doesn't.
Oh,
that's all right. We've got some smoke.
Well, okay, keep going.
Yeah, we've got a bit of smoke.
So this is the only hive that's currently functional, is that right?
It is. We've got this one, and
you got the one in the garden.
One in Mr. Hurd's garden.
And of course,
And then I have 2 colonies in my garden at home.
Okay.
Right. So this is what we're going to see now. I can feel it already. I know that there's been some spaces left in this hive over winter, and because of the lockdown, I haven't been able to get here and fill this up with frames. So what you saw on here, this burr comb, so this comb that the bees have just built and attached it to the point in the hive, we're going to see a huge amount of this burr comb when I lift this board off the top here.
Will the chaplain be pleased?
I'm gonna carefully lift this off.
Oh, hello. You're not wrong. Look at that.
Okay, so
that is extraordinary.
So
really beautiful.
If you've watched my videos previously,
Again, I'm
you'll
sure
know-
your leagues of fans that
Yeah.
will have done so.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Thank
We're
you.
still
Yeah,
trying to
absolutely.
get to 1,000
Yeah.
subscribers.
What are we up
so-
to?
so what you can-
56 or something?
Yeah, 58, I think. What you can see here is what you would consider to be, you know, how the bees would build and colonise somewhere, you know, naturally.
Yes.
So
It's organic.
Yeah,
It's absolutely beautiful.
It's
Viewers,
you know,
I can't do this justice. It's
Of course.
stunning. It's like the Sagrada Familia.
of course the problem with this as a beekeeper is, you know, we've now got what I would describe as a double brood box.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have any separation from here above, you know, from here downwards.
Yep.
So we've actually got, you know, although there's still plenty of bees, there's still plenty of honey. This is still all honey.
Yeah.
You could harvest this. You know, the longer this situation goes on, and to be honest, I have no real way of a remedy for this situation. I just have to allow this to go as it is. Keep the bees and the queen below here, and hope that they're going to start moving this honey up into our other honey supers as time goes by.
These are very much more docile, aren't they?
Or
did I speak too soon?
I don't know. I think that they're okay. And again, you know, it does depend on time, weather, you know, season, etc. So they're looking quite nice.
They really are.
I'm going to lift this off of here.
And we think Queenie's in there, or
Well,
maybe
to
in
be
the
honest,
natural one?
You know, I would hazard a guess and say the queen's in there.
Okay.
That looks like the main colony nest to me.
Yeah.
And I would suggest that, you know, if you twisted my arm and said to me, where do you think the queen might be in this hive, I would suggest in there somewhere.
Right, yeah.
So I think the chances of seeing her today are quite remote. But I'm gonna open this up and just give you a little view of what's going on. So plenty of bees.
No sign of her in there, I don't
No, she's not marked in here either.
think. Oh, really?
So
Oh,
spotting her is gonna
be tricky, right?
A kind of a mixture of knowledge and good luck, I would think. And the chance, you know, there's this is the bees building up stores here, honey. So this is on the outside of the nest. So you won't, you know, the chance of finding, she can be there, but it's you know, we're looking for more frames again. You know, this is I'm looking for brood rather than stores.
It's all black, that one, is that?
Yeah,
is
these are really old frames.
Okay.
So these are frames that I've recycled.
How old is this colony?
About 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
So one of the reasons that you recycle the comb, right? So we've got some. So not a particularly impressive pattern of brood, but what you can see here, these capped cells, these are the new worker bees.
Okay.
It's a bit difficult to see in this light, but there's, you might be able to see at the bottom of the cells around there some new larvae, and the food for the eggs and as they develop into the larvae and the bees is already in the cell, and after 7 days the worker bees will cap that over, and then about 15 days later a new bee emerges. So I wouldn't expect, you know, let's see if we can find a little bit more brood.
No,
So a little bit better.
Look at this one here. You can see the pollen
Yes.
gone around the other side.
Yeah,
There. See.
So this one
That
here,
one there
you
with
can
its
you
yellow-
can see the pollen
that's it.
sacs on its legs, and he's foraging away. Well, her.
Yeah.
Don't forget,
Yeah.
all of the bees doing the work in this hive are female.
Yeah.
Again, quite a lot of drones in here, which is not a massively brilliant sign. And as you can see, you know, we've not got a lot of capped brood. Our kind of brood is there.
This is I'm beginning to get a kind of lovely honey smell wafting up from this one in particular.
I'm not sure if I finished off my explanation of why you recycle the comb.
Go on.
Because if you start with foundation wax, as I've shown you in some of the other videos, it takes the bees weeks and weeks and weeks to draw this comb out and make the cells to put the eggs and the honey in.
Yep.
So if you've got old comb, it's just a shortcut to the bees, the queen having more space to lay, and you know, reducing the amount of time that they spend working in the hive. That means they can be out foraging and collecting the ingredients for making the honey.
And what's the sort of lifespan of this hive, or this
well, this hive
colony?
This hive can requeen itself. So you know, in those sort of terms, it could go on almost perennially, perpetually. You know, the queen's going to live about 2 to 5 years. We've got that 5-year cycle of colours that we mark the queen with. But again, you know, most of the bees in this hive are hatching, going through a bit of an apprenticeship inside the hive as nurse bees before they go out foraging, and their lifespan is only 42 days.
Gosh.
So you're constantly getting, you know, a renewed colony, and as it grows and grows and grows, and then as we start to head towards the autumn.
Don't talk about that.
Well, you asked me the sort of lifespan. As we start to move towards the autumn, the worker bees will then stop foraging, and those ones that are born towards the end of the summer will overwinter in the hive and then start the cycle all over again in the following spring. Right, okay, so yes, lots of I don't know if you want to bring your camera around. Hat's falling off. So you can get a good close-up view of the capped cells. So every one of those capped cells is a new bee waiting to emerge. And I've now got the difficult task of putting this hive back together. But I think it's really interesting to see how you know, how a well-managed beehive can look, and how you know, not through anyone's fault really. You know, it's not that I didn't want to come down. School's been closed, and it's quite nice to see how this might look in the natural world rather than how it looks, you know, as we force it together as a beekeeper. So I'm gonna start looking to build this hive back up. Okay, this could be a bit of an issue.
What are you worried about?
Well, I've got I think it's inevitable that 1 or 2 bees are going to get squashed here. That's inevitable. And what I really don't want to do is I really don't want this to all fall off of this board.
Okay.
So it's...
Gently does it. Come on, bees, out the way.
That I have to say went very well.
Oh, good.
So I'm gonna put the...
Except for that one there on the end. It's not quite so well for him.
I'm going to put the queen excluder back on.
Yeah.
I have to accept now that you know, it's not an ideal situation with this board, but that's what we're left with, and I have to just accept that I'm going to have to manage this colony as best I can, given how it's developed, and just see what we get over the next month or two. So I put the honey super back on. Another honey super here. I think I will just, if I can, ease one of these out and show you.
Ooh. Wow.
So if you like your
Wow.
if you like your cut comb honey, this is a little section. In fact, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to donate that to the Head family larder.
Well, I'm sure that'll be.
And Mr. Head can tell us what the honey was like.
Thank you very much. That will be very much enjoyed by the whole family. If I let them get their paws on it.
Of course, we've now
got a section missing.
We've now got a section missing, so
I'll come down and replace it at some point.
We're opening ourselves up to more rogue comb, burr comb, but I think given the internal situation, that's the least of our
absolutely,
problems, really. So I'm going to leave this on the top, and I'm going to put the lid on. We've got some bees just around the hive. On the when they
a bit lost, have they?
Yeah, they'll get back in. Normally, what happens is you end up with lots of bees on the outside of the entrance. That's called bearding. So it looks usually seen people with bee beards.
Yeah.
It's called bearding when they.
That's not a co-curricular activity we're planning to introduce anytime soon.
As I said, it's not the perfect beehive in terms of beekeeping. It's a busy colony. They're going about their work. They're producing us some honey. So hopefully in a few weeks' time, we should be able to extract some honey off of here, and we'll keep you posted as to how that's going over the next few weeks. So thank you very much for joining us down in the Haileybury apiary. Join us next time, either live streaming or on video on our YouTube channel, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need 1,000 subscribers, and then we can stream live straight onto YouTube, which will give us a lot more flexibility and able to give us the ability to give you better content on the videos, I feel. Thanks very much for now. Bye bye.